You know, they always talk about financial issues at Ruthless. You know, that's always like a big thing with Jerry Heller and all that. How did you guys feel about all that? You know, being there, being on Ruthless and everything.
I was just like being with any other establishment, you know. We don't want to say whether it was good or bad. It was just business.
Yeah.
You know, at that time. And it was something for us to learn from, you know, and that's with any company you have. I don't care if whatever company you're dealing with. You know, we were young.
Yep.
We were young and not dumb, but metaphorically speaking, young, dumb, and full of.
But I will say it like this. I will say it like this. Cam, I'll say it like this. I will say this. When you on the streets and somebody offer you a way out, every contract is a good contract.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And you got to mind you, a rap contract wasn't even really considered being something that people even knew what that meant. So in order to get like a rap record deal as a rapper, no, that wasn't even heard of. But we can say that when we signed our deals, it was fair as like, we just say we look at it like an athlete. Because we look at it real. Even though we street dude, we don't look at it like, you know what I'm saying? We look at it like, okay, here's an opportunity to get out of the streets. And it's 1988, 89. It's not 2025, like how people try to think the way stuff is now. You know everything. You got access to all this information. You don't really, you know? And someone come to you hustling on the streets and they saying, I want to help you make legitimate money. So you take the deal. I think the biggest thing that we learned at Ruthless Records was when we made those deals, everything is renegotiable. Everything can be, you know, turned around after you make a mark. You're not going to come through the door and say, I want these 10 things because I say I want that. You just off the streets. We're giving you opportunity to make records, make legitimate money.
Better yourselves.
Yeah, we looked at it like it bettering us. You know what I mean? We didn't, and now when everything unfolded, the funny thing I will say about Ruthless, if you notice to be factual, Ruthless has never been sued. So when people say it's funny money, it's this and that and that and this, no one ever found nothing faulty in a bullshit contract that we all signed. Yeah. See, it's different. See, people get the misconception that Cube was getting fucked when he left. No, it just what he saw in the paperwork wasn't fair to him. Everybody else decided to sign the unfair paperwork. When it came to renegotiations, Jerry Heller felt like, we don't want to give you that. We are giving you what you deserve, which is morally not fair, but we signed the paperwork. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? And all of us had the opportunity to do it. That's no defense to Jerry Heller. That's no knock on Easy. That's saying like, okay, maybe Easy as a young executive, like I told you, he was like 24, 25 years old. He couldn't have been no more than 26 years old when all this was going down. He didn't have a clue what was kind of fair to a contract, because you got to realize you're not signing the Temptations after their third album. You signing the dude from the projects that's never made an album before, and it's 1988. You know what I mean? So when people start talking about faulty business, I have to say that we took the opportunity to become who we are. Yeah. Because we could still be selling dope, gangbanging, in prison, and you never know about a brother on cocaine. And so can everybody else in there. From Doc Dre, shout out Doc Dre, because he put us into play. Even stuff like that, you probably don't have Ice Cube, the movie star, great filmmaker, hell of a legendary rapper. None of that. If he doesn't walk through Ruthless, it's hard for us to say that. You could say Dr. Dre's a billionaire. From what? He could have been still stuck over at Lonzo. Him and Yella could have been still with the Wrecking Crew. And when that folded in what, 87, 88? I mean, 87, 86? So we can't really, it's hard for us all to really in real time now when we look back, knock Ruthless and say Ruthless was these 10 things and wasn't fair business to us because it gave us careers. Yeah. You know. And if we didn't have that platform, you got to realize anything that came off that tree, it wouldn't have never manifested. That's right. Absolutely.
You wouldn't get no Death Row, you wouldn't get no West Side Connection.
Yeah.
And the list goes on.
Yeah, you wouldn't even get someone who looks at Compton as a form of music like you look at it as being a brilliant thing if that move doesn't happen. Yeah. It's just when people talk on about certain things, they don't actually champion that and amplify that to the fullest, because What Eric was doing was giving everybody an opportunity. Did he know what Jerry Heller was doing wasn't fair? Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. We don't know that. But he gave us an opportunity.
And he gave a lot of, Eric broke the stereotypes and the stigmas. Yeah. He messed with Bloods, Crips, essays at a time when that was unheard of as an executive. You know what I mean? So, to say Ruthless Records, everybody is a lot of people from a speculating point of view.
Yeah.
But I still get my Ruthless statements to this day. Yeah. And there's, I'm not gonna put nobody on blast. I'm on more features than anybody in the world. Yeah. And I can't say that about Eric Wright, because he actually gave a fuck about his artists.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Now, it was a little bit different when at the end of the day, Jerry Heller would send me my thing, and he'd be like, well, you rented a car, you did this, you bought some this, and all these expenditures. And you'd be like, man, where's my money? And boop, boop. But that was us learning the game, because it was like Disneyland there versus the 360 deals that the corporates are doing now. You talking about fucking people.
Oh, it's criminal. The game is criminal now. Yeah. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care how big these people chains is. It's criminal. Streaming is criminal. I don't mean to talk on that level, but at least I can say one thing. If you sold 1 million records, you got a check. Not if you got 1 million streams, you get an excuse. You know what I mean? That's criminal to me. That millions of people can actually patronize your music in a paid platform and you get minimal. Versus when we were selling records like that, you got a check.
That's why it's hard to go platinum. We from the platinum era.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? When we bust down that check, you know what I mean? It did good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now, we learn all those elements and we take our independent and we basically follow the same blueprint that Eazy-E have. Yeah. That way, we value ourselves because, we've been fortunate to do it so long, 30 plus years, and we touch the four corners of the earth. Now we get a chance, as an independent to not be stopped, so to speak. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. Yeah. And see, it's the same format that Ruthless had because he gave us so much creative room to do our thing. There. Yeah. He didn't never say, well, you should do this. No, he said, Hutch, go handle it. Cope, go handle it.
That's right.
And we handled that.
Yeah, I think that it's funny, like people going to what you're saying, like people think like it was a faulty thing going on over there. One thing I can say about Eazy-E is Eazy-E never wavered, and if Eazy-E was wrong, he made it right.
Yeah.
That's how Eazy was.
That's why I was saying when you asked me the question.
He made it right, yeah.
When you asked the question, because we always get asked that question.
Absolutely.
Was it good or bad? No, I say it's business. It's business. So really what I'm saying, when you learn from something, it's great business.
That's right. Yeah.
Because here we are years later, and because of that experience that we had with them, it taught us so much about points, mechanicals, royalties, sub-publishing, licensing sync fees, sponsorship. Yeah. If we didn't ever have those experiences, it's the same thing. Right. Cube wouldn't be able to do what he doing. Dre wouldn't been able to do what he been doing. Yeah. Snoop, 50 Cent, Eminem. Yeah. They all learn. It's cool to talk about the branches because you can't take nothing away from all those cats. But at the same time, you always go back. You got to go back to the root. Yeah. Not just the branches.
I just don't think Ruthless. I think Ruthless have a stigma that everybody got fucked at Ruthless, and it's just, to me, it's not true. I didn't see everybody's contract, but I know we all signed a contract that I guess we got what we signed. You know what I mean? And that, see, fucking you means that I signed this contract and you said, hey man, in the contract it said I was supposed to get $10, but you only gave me $6. It doesn't say I signed for $6 and I talked to such and such that signed to Sony over there and he getting $10 and you giving me $6. Why you fucking me? No, you signed a contract that says I owe you $6. You know what I mean? That's why I always value it. I value it as being like an athlete sometimes. When Scottie Pippen was playing with Jordan, he was like the number 2 player in the game, but he was like he was like a 200 lowest paid player. You know what I mean? He signed that contract, so he can't come in the office and say, hey, you fucking me. He can say, hey, this contract is not fair. I play this and play at this level. I should be getting paid what the top 10 players getting paid. And I think that's what, and I can say strongly, that's what it was at Ruthless. That's where the funking went on. That's where everything collided. That's where everything fell apart. Because when it came time to make it right, they didn't feel like it was ever going to get right keeping Jerry Heller in the scenario. Nobody felt that it was going to be right keeping Jerry in the scenario. That's not a kick on Jerry, because on another thing is, it's a double-edged sword right there. Without Jerry,
you got to play the devil's advocate.
Without Jerry, guess what? You don't know us.
You don't know Easy.
You don't know Easy.
You don't know NWA.
You don't know
JJ
NWA.
Bad.
That's right. You don't know these people. He the one who brought us to the forefront of the music industry in that era. You know, it wasn't friendly for, now it's cool. People can do Snapchat, Instagram, whatever it is, and become a TikTok superstar. But back then you had to have one of those people that were in there to usher you in. And Jerry Heller was our usher.
Sometimes I think people just forget, like, get on.
That's it. Yeah.
And then complain or then worry about
renegotiate. Get on. You just saying it. Get on and then renegotiate.
You know, yeah.
I think a lot of people, egos mess with them.
Egos too, yeah. Yep. But, they feel like they're worth this much, and they might be worth that much, but they're not seeing the big picture. Just get in the door.
Yeah, if you sign the basic contract and you actually blow up like that, that's what Suge taught us. Honestly. Suge gets a bad rap for a lot of stuff. I'm going to tell you what was great about Suge. Suge exposed us to it wasn't fair. You understand? When he was working around Bobby Brown and how Bobby Brown was caking, he looked at how we was doing it and looking like, hey man, I'm looking at what's going on. Y'all not getting treated fair over here. The contracts that y'all signed is not matching up to where you got the level that you guys are playing at now. You got to go in and fix this, because if not, you'll have a whole career of taking shorts. That's what he exposed. Being that he was a big intimidating dude at the time to everybody, but he really meant well. When he went against the grain up against Eric and Jerry Heller, because he was trying to show us that it's not fair. So go renegotiate. We all went back and renegotiated because we had to stay. Yeah. Dre and Doc decided to leave because it wasn't fair to them. They felt like they'll have a better run with actually going and starting Death Row. We stayed and just renegotiated all our stuff, and we had a healthy run at Ruthless Records until Easy died.
Until Easy passed.
Until Easy passed on. Rest in peace, Easy E too. Yeah, but yeah.